government has done a great job of, of changing the code of national flag. Yeah, I was watching today in the morning at around 5 o'clock, people running onto the expressway between Delhi and Gurgaon and holding the flag. I was just looking at that. Look at the kind of, the pride these people have running at 5 o'clock with the national flag. Auto drivers or anyone just, having the flags on their autos. So this is the kind of nationalism which you're looking at coming out of the people. It's a democratic nation. The nation should feel for its flag, right? So these kind of things are amazing. Earlier it was too rigid, too steel bonded kind of thing. But this is what you require, that everyone holding a flag.
No, and not just that, the nation is rising. Earlier it should be, we'll see the recording, बाद में तो चलेगा. अभी कौन सुबह सुबह उठेगा, छुट्टी का दिन है, आराम से सो जाते हैं. है ना, Ambassador Sajanhar. But today now I've seen, it was an early start for us and it's quite welcome. But I could see people out on a run. So they wanted to do the Independence Day run. So the fitness, people are out there, and like he's saying, there are people doing a Azadi run, they're doing marches, bike rallies. People are up and about. It was quite busy early in the morning when around me, where I reside. So that's something which is special. This is historic. Ramparts of the Red Fort and I think Doordarshan, it's courtesy Doordarshan, these pictures that we're putting. So historic for us that it all started at that area. Across the country, pan-India, Har Ghar Tiranga being celebrated. Ambassador Sajanhar?
No, absolutely. You are very right, Anand. And I think this is, again, another measure of credit to the Prime Minister, because he has provided this enthusiasm, this inspiration, this motivation. Meaning bringing in out, you're talking about what are the beneficial health impact also. Whether it is yoga, whether it is Khelo India, and I think we can see even the impact of all that in the performance that our young boys and girls athletes have been doing in different international arenas. So I think it has both bringing out the youth, and this is something that also the Prime Minister has been talking about, that it is the youth that will determine the future of the country. So whether it is making them fit or training them, providing them with skills, that is what is the need of the hour. So I think across the board, the whole it's a holistic approach, holistic attitude, getting people up in the morning, giving them physical fitness, giving them skills. I think across the board, this is what is motivating our young people and inspiring them to contribute to the betterment and to a better, glorious future of the country.
Yes, sir. We just, as you were speaking, we just got pictures from Tawang. Tawang is Arunachal Pradesh, so it is the first state of the country where the sun rises. So Independence Day sunrise greeted with Tawang, and that too height, because we share borders with with Tibet. And that's the Chinese occupied territory. That's where it rides right all the way up to Bumla, and I've been there. So it's quite, it's not easy. It was not easy. I've been there more than 10 years ago. I was there. So it was quite arduous to make that ride. And then I asked some of the forces, why is it? So the thought process they said is that, access should not be convenient. I said, but the Chinese have got cobbled roads right up to the border there. What do you mean? So they are an occupied territory and they've built this infrastructure. So it is phenomenal. We just try and play out those visuals. Tawang, beautiful place. And I think once again, part of our country that not many of us have actually gone and seen. And many believe that Jammu and Kashmir is beautiful. Of course it is beautiful. But then Arunachal is just phenomenal. It's breathtaking. Now these are pictures from right outside the Red Fort. Live visuals coming through from the national capital. So we'll try and keep getting you all the pictures. So security bandobast is right up. Very, very tight. Live visuals from the Red Fort. People will be, the invitees, those who are going to be part of the ceremony, those who are going to be allowed inside, have all been asked to come in by about 6 o'clock because of the heavy security drill and the protocol. It takes at least an hour and a half for you to get inside and to be seated. And that will be timed just around the time that the Prime Minister will be arriving. Thankfully, if the skies are cloudy and the weather is nice, It will also reduce the heat and the humidity that people will have to bear on Independence Day. Not very difficult, ladies and gentlemen. It just becomes a little more pleasant when you see the flag fluttering, the wind blowing, and then it just adds to the entire celebration. All the artists who are going to be performing, people who are going to be part of the I-Day celebrations are all making their way into Red Fort via the various entrances. Heavy security bandobast also is something that we are seeing. They're all colorfully dressed. So there you go. That's the Punjabi group there, along with some of the others, some of them wearing blue, which we can guess perhaps that they may be part of the flag formation, and maybe right at the dead center with the Ashok Chakra. The white, the ladies dressed in white will be part of that group which forms the flag, that is the white at the center. So these formations we'll see, but they're all making their way in slowly and gradually. But Tushar, do you think the Prime Minister will be also addressing the demographic dividend, what he is expecting from the youth of the country? A lot of this aspect of nationhood is also because the youth today, over the last 20-25 years, have seen skirmishes, but they have not seen direct conflict or wars. Like you said, the first 20-30 years, every decade saw a war, which saw a need for us to clutch onto the Tiranga. We saw that when students had to be evacuated out of Ukraine, where a lot of the youth said, we didn't know the Tiranga mattered so much. You know, how blessed we are to be part and to be shielded by this tricolor is when we got into that bus and we had Bangladeshi, Pakistani students, all of them getting into our bus to say we are India, and it is India, that bus was not stopped. So that might of the tricolor, is it something that the Prime Minister would want the youth to imbibe in them?
Absolutely, absolutely. Anand, at a time when even feeling patriotic or nationalist has become a political issue, I really hope the Prime Minister sends out that message to the young labor force of this nation to tell them that it's okay to be wealth creators, that it's okay to dream, that it's okay to aspire. There is nothing apologetic about being a capitalist or a wealth creator, as formerly the politicians used to assume. It's also about telling the youth of this country that don't only look for jobs, which is also a mindset thing he's addressed through Agnipath, if I mention that program.
Yes.
It's also about creating jobs. The government will enable an ecosystem where industry can flourish, where businesses can flourish. But can you, the youth of the country, avail the services of the government and create jobs? I think that is the larger message he would want to send across, because the world has now changed. The economy after the pandemic has changed. India has changed, more importantly. And he would want to tell that the next 25 years belong to you. The country is in your hands. Create jobs, create wealth. Take us to that 5-10 trillion economy benchmark. And from there, it's our civilization's great rise again.
In fact, if I add to what Tushar is saying, look at the startup ecosystem. 75,000 startup currently registered with 340 billion dollar valuation.
Yeah.
And if you look into the kind of unicorns that are coming currently, there are 107, and out of this 20 were added in this year alone itself, right?
Correct.
You know, Anand, the first 50 years were all about ensuring roti, kapda and makan. Our entire politics, our entire economy was around roti, kapda, makan. That was the kind of socialism we inherited for whatever reasons. When the three used to be achieved, the next ambition used to be sarkari naukri, and that used to be the end of it.
Correct.
Today, the youth is very different. They do not want to restrict themselves to the sarkari naukri mindset. They want to go out, create jobs, be it a startup with 5 people or 500. They want to work for their country. They want to put the country on the world map. And I think that is the idea, that is the passion the Prime Minister would want to address. That it's no longer about roti, kapda, makan or sarkari naukri. It's about creating wealth. It's about creating jobs. It's about taking the country's economy forward.
True. All our freedom fighters, those who have contributed towards building the country, those who have laid down their lives in service of the country, they will be remembered. But it's just looking beautiful here at the Red Fort, the ramparts being decorated, the pathways, the access, everything being done. And this time, I think after COVID-19, it's open. Those are right at the high mountain tops that we're getting these visuals.